This video is about should I open my own restaurant? And there are 4 important questions to ask yourself before even thinking about getting into the hospitality industry. To find out more, please stay tuned to this video. Welcome to the SCG Show, the home of education entertainment, and please do me a favor, if you really enjoyed this video, smash that like button. I would really appreciate it. Now, this is not financial advice, but I do actually come from a family of restaurateurs and I've grown up in the hospitality industry. My dad was a restaurateur and we're currently owning a restaurant as we speak. So I'm versed in the subject, bags of experience and loads of knowledge. I literally grew up in this business. I know people who have successfully opened many restaurants and I've seen others spectacularly fall on their faces. And it's not a pretty sight to witness. Now I know what you're thinking. You probably love cooking and love food. Maybe you love going out to restaurants. Maybe you're a very sociable person. You're often described as a great host. You're probably looking for somewhere or something different to put your money, a new venture. And you thought to yourself, you know what? I should start my own restaurant. Is that a fair and accurate assumption? Regardless of if it is or isn't, you need to understand restaurateurs are not normal. We are not a normal creed of people. This business is hard. There's an enormous amount of pressure and stress to deal with. As one restaurateur to another, be incredibly careful. Dining in a place and having friends over for a barbecue is quite different to owning a restaurant. There's so many variables and things to consider, which I'll highlight in the post moving forward. But one thing I would suggest before I begin is going to actually work in a restaurant. Go and do all the roles you can, volunteer for free, perhaps start in a kitchen porter, washing up plates, then try your hand as a sous chef, then as an actual chef, then as a waiter, then as a manager, stock control, cleaner. Try different restaurant cuisines. Get a feel for the work involved. You may have your eyes opened. Anyway, let's begin. 20 years ago, there was a saying, most brand new restaurants fail within the first 2 years of trading. Fast forward to today, where there's a pandemic, lockdowns, or maybe that's over, the lifespan of a new restaurant is 3 to 6 months, and the cost could be anywhere up to $500,000 just to get started. Why are restaurants so hard to run and make successful? As mentioned, there's many variables. Firstly, a brand new restaurant is new, untried, and unknown. Punters want to give it a go and see if it's worthwhile, any good. So your first hurdle is to get over the fact that you've got no reputation. One restaurant I know is established for 40 years and has maintained that standard. If you opened a restaurant tomorrow, no one knows you. There's no client base, no reviews. You must build your reputation from scratch. But if you make mistakes, you're screwed. If this is your first restaurant business idea, you'll learn a lot of lessons along the way. Staff may not turn up or walk out mid-shift. Suppliers may let you down or fold. Your chef may not cook to the standard you want. Bookings will let you down. You may run out of stock. You may mismanage your stock. And that's the tip of the iceberg. Then there's the finances, the balancing of the books, wages, bills. It's a mountain of work. So much stress. Very high risk. Anyone who's selling you the dream of opening up a restaurant is easy is lying to you. They are hard, stressful, difficult businesses. Do not think it's a walk in the park. One guy I know wanted to open a burger restaurant, but we suggested to him that he worked there for a week first to get a feel of it. And he did so, and he hated it, and was beyond stressed and annoyed. Restaurants aren't for me, he said, as he started a separate venture instead. Restaurant businesses are very, very hard. Please don't forget to hit the like button if you are enjoying this video. I loved my late dad. but I hardly ever saw him growing up because he was working in restaurants. Weekends he worked. He worked 11 to 12-hour days. He hardly had time off, and when he did, I was at school. Do you value your social life? Do you cherish your weekends? What about your evenings, your sleep? Do you love taking time off, vacations regularly? Say goodbye to all of that. Your restaurant is your beck and call, and at your beck and call 24 hours a day. And when you think you can switch off, you can't. Even if you employ managers, outsource staff, it starts and stops with you. And if you don't turn up, who's going to run that shift? Who's going to sort out that problem? Who's going to deal with an emergency? Before he died, and on his final vacation with a dear friend of his, my dad admitted that he had been working way too much. I needed this vacation so badly, he said to his friend with tears in his eyes. I'll never forget one evening we were out at a party. My dad luckily could take the night off from his restaurant and left another manager in charge. And at midnight, as we were driving home, he received a call from the manager. "You need to come back," the manager said. "There's an emergency." He was dropped off at the restaurant on the way home and spent the entire night dealing with it. It had ruined all the fun, all the excitement he had at the party. Was it worth it? If he were here right now, he would probably say no. His final text to me when he was alive in hospital went like this: "I don't care about work anymore." Granted, he was successful for a long time in the hospitality trade. But remember, you are a slave to your restaurant. Managing people is one of the most fundamental and important aspects of a restaurant. Depending on the size of your establishment, the bigger you are, the more staff. And the more staff you take on, the more problems you take on. We currently, in our business, have many staff, and in tune, so did my dad in other ventures he had over the years. He has had to hire a lot of people. He has also had to fire a lot of people. Let me ask you some questions. What would you do if your staff started fighting during a shift, like physically beating each other up? Or a waiter or waitress walks out in a shift? Or a cleaner steals money from the till? What if your staff members is drunk on a shift? Or dealing or taking drugs? What if a staff member's got serious mental health issues? Can you manage and maintain a rota? Can you calculate and do bookkeeping? Are you willing to fire someone who is older than you, or a friend, or a family member? Can you deal with staff rebelling against you? Can you please everybody all at once? What about staff being jealous of each other, causing a civil war amongst your business? There's so many variables, including staff management. If you cannot manage people, do not think about this business. And the longer you're in it, the more you're going to see. The more people will shock, surprise, amaze, dumbfound you with their actions. Before even thinking about starting a restaurant business, I'd recommend reading about business leadership. Attend seminars or watch videos, read books, find mentors. Decide what sort of leader and owner you're going to be. Are you going to rule with an iron fist? Or are you going to be more relaxed, laissez-faire? Either way, you're in charge, and you need to manage very well. Now here's my conclusion, and once again, this is not financial advice, this is just my opinion. There are many perks to owning a restaurant. You can become the staple of your community. People may come to love your restaurant a lot. You're your own boss, you oversee the business. You eat as much food as you like, it's your restaurant. Depending on your success, you may get nominated for awards. You give people jobs where they may not be able to find employment elsewhere. You can become very profitable and make a good living. You'll meet more people than ever before. You will network with so many people. Some people may have their most precious moments in your restaurant. We became friends with a couple who got engaged in our restaurant. I met my husband here, said the wife. It was our first date. He took me back to propose. We even have a photo of them above the restaurant. Look, I may have been harsh and brutal in my assessment of this, because I want you to know exactly what you may be getting in for. I know one guy who's bankrupt from running one restaurant, but I know another guy who became a multi-millionaire. So horses for courses. Whatever you decide to do, always, please, do your own research. And maybe try before you buy. Restaurants are tough, but if you find a way to make it work, I salute you, and maybe it's worth it. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, here's some more content you might be interested in.